course, we have the technology, and then we have health and life sciences, and the fourth one is activities that would promote and support our economy. And like what I've mentioned, we have the create uh, the corporate to innovation, digital transformation, and industrialization. You can see on the slide the various incentives being offered to industries that would be part of the strategic investment priority plan. So let me just mention some of these incentives. You can enjoy enhanced deductions or 5 to
Nag-okay ka nga eh. Text ako sa'yo kaagad, tapos nag-okay ka.
and then the two others are capital equipment and raw materials importation along with rating on your local purchases. And in here, I'm showing you the three tiers covering the strategic investment priority plan. So the higher your tier, the higher the incentives that you're going to receive. And Sean, those activities that would address market failures, those that would encourage value chain upgrading, along with provide support to sectors that are critical to our industrial development. And this would consist of activities such as, these are the more detailed activities which are component and of agri and food efficiency would also fall under this sector. And then you have tier two. These are basically the parts, components that are crucial to our industrial development. So included in here as well would be nickel and copper for processing, along with manufacturing of EV systems, health-related activities, and so on. For tier three, this would cover, well, this is our highest tier, and those classified under this tier, like what I've said, would be receiving the highest incentives. And this would comprise of activities like research and development, breakthroughs in science and health, generation of new knowledge and intellectual property, along with their commercialization. Highly technical manufacturing, as you can see on the slide on column 2, would also fall under this tier. So R&D and activities adapting advanced digital production technologies like robotics, artificial intelligence for additive manufacturing, data analytics, and so on would fall under this third category or third tier. In here, well, this gives us the bigger picture in terms of the incentive structure that create offers. So your incentives would depend on your market orientation, whether your activity is going to serve the domestic market or the export market. Of course, as you can see clearly on the slide, for export activities, they would be receiving a much longer set of incentives. And also, the incentives would depend on the tier, as earlier discussed, with tier 3 receiving the highest level or the longest period of incentives. And the third item is it's also going to depend on your location. And the farther away you are from Metro Manila and other urban areas, the higher the incentives. At this point, I would also want to briefly share with you some of the digital transformation initiatives that DTI is going to initiate soon. The first one is the Industry 4.0 pilot factory. We've just completed the feasibility study on this particular project, and the plan is for us to build this 4.0 pilot factory. And it's going to host demonstrations and case applications of Industry 4.0 technologies that would serve the needs of industries like the automotive industry as well as the electronics industry. And it's going to accommodate not only the large enterprises, but including our small and medium enterprises. Akadim is also going to partner project as well as our startups. And this pilot factory will serve as a training and research hub. And at the same time, it is also going to facilitate industry access to advanced manufacturing technologies like robotics, intelligent manufacturing systems, and cyber physical systems. And you can see in here the structure. So there's going to be a demo and a digital experience center wherein we are inviting tech companies like Siemens or Tusud or Samsung and other tech partners to locate, and we will be curating various technologies to be brought to the center. And of course, there are classrooms for the trainings to be offered, co-working spaces, application and design hubs, and a prototype or a sandbox that's going to be implemented by the government. And by the way, this is going to be a public-private partnership. So the other important facility that we are building is the Center for going to contribute by the year 2030. This is indeed a substantial contribution, comprising around 12% of our GDP by 2030. And hence, we really need to prepare in order for us to realize these targets or these forecasts. And like the Industry 4.0 pilot factory, this is also going to be a public-private partnership. It's going to serve as hub for our data scientists and researchers who will be providing collaborative AI, R&D, and technology application among government agencies to universities, research institutes, startups, SMEs, and our domestic large enterprises and multinationals. It's also going to offer consultancy services, and with the R&D that's going to take place in this center, we expect more AI tech products and services. And apart from this, the center is also going to provide data literacy programs, and this is important for us to upskill and reskill the workforce. And what we envision is that with this serving as our showcase, with this center that is going to catalyze the building and the strengthening of our capacity when it comes to AI R&D, we would like to put the Philippines in a position such that we will be able to attract leading global companies to this industry. Like what I've said, AI has on the slide in manufacturing, we're looking at an important element as we try to build abilities in AI. Incentive strategy or EVIS, our objectives are, as you can see on the slide, we want to provide a time-bound, targeted, performance-based, and transparent fiscal and non-fiscal support in order for us to promote the growth and development of EV manufacturing in the country. And this would, in particular, we would like to prioritize the growth and development of electronic parts and other strategic components, batteries, charging stations, as well as the establishment of testing facilities. We are providing this incentive scheme in order for us to close the cost gap between EVs and traditional motor vehicles, and that is going to speed up the transformation or the shift to electric vehicles. And we, based on the law as well, this is going to set the production targets, which we hope could be realized within a period of 8 years. In terms of the support, what we envision is something similar, but not exactly similar, but we're looking at the CARS program as a model. But in the case of the CARS program, the support is only on the production side. But for the EVs, to provide not only production support, but as well as consumption support or consumption subsidy to the buyers of, for instance, the focus of the EVIS would initially be on the manufacturing of PUVs, along with buses, trucks, 2 and 3 wheelers, passenger cars, battery, including auto electronics and charging stations. But note that some of these are already covered under the SIPP, which we've seen earlier through the income tax holiday and other incentives that have been also I program. So, like what I've said, what we flagship commercial vehicle model, which is the EPU. Really, this is important in order. We're initially catering to the jeepney market, considering that the size, the current size could provide the necessary scale economies, and it's also important as we develop our capabilities in the manufacturing of light truck platforms and special purpose vehicles that would serve both the domestic and the export markets. And this would cover, for instance, UV Express vehicles, buses, trucks, L300s, freezer vans, dump trucks, fire trucks, ambulances, and so on. And in order for this program to be successful and for us to be efficient and effective in our implementation, there should really be a close coordination mechanism between the DTI and the Department of Transportation, which, as we know, currently also has a program, which is the PUV Modernization Program. And we're hoping that we would be able to embed both programs together such that we will be able to maximize all the opportunities to enable us to grow the EV industry in the country. And let me also share the DTI UNIDO e-mobility project. The period is this is from 2022 to 2027. And the goal really is to scale up EV and charging, the deployment of charging infrastructure and EV to lead as the Subic Freeport. And we want this to become smart cities. This is a 3.8 million US dollar project that would provide technical assistance to national and local governments, those that were mentioned, in order for us to enhance the EV policy environment and deploy EV and charging infrastructure to the 5 cities during the period we just mentioned. And this would include e-trikes, e-jeepneys, e-buses, and other EVs. And this would also, of course, depend on the transportation plan to be formulated by the cities. And at the same time, the EVIS would also be part of this DTI UNIDO e-mobility project. And we hope that utilizing the funds coming from this project, we would be able to pilot the EVIS and provide the production and the consumption sub. So under the project, there are activities that we've identified. This you can see on the slide. It would provide inputs to the crafting of the CREVI, the formulation of the EVIS. We would also be carrying out EV market and global value chain analysis, along with compilation, integration, and analysis of intelligence reports on EV, climate smart training sessions, linkages to global electric mobility ecosystem, support to local government units for their e-mobility planning, support as well to EV technology standardization, EV deployment in public transportation, logistics, and corporate, along with knowledge exchange platforms and mechanisms to be carried out under this project. So I think that is going to be my final slide, but just to highlight 3 major points. The future car, again, is going to be, and there are 3 important things that I'd like to mention as to the necessary we have the EVIDA legislation, and then there's also the CREATE, and both of these legislations are introducing regulations and incentives that would enable us to accelerate the shift to sustainable mobility. And then consumer behavior and awareness, these are needed to change, and we want more people to accept alternative and sustainable mobility modes. Number 3 is technology. Industry players are already accelerating this as they develop new concepts of electric, connected, autonomous, and shared mobility. And in here, when we talk about technology and innovation, we see a lot together on electrifying mobility and connecting vehicles and promoting new models of autonomous driving technology. And these innovations will help reduce EV costs and make electric shared mobility a more realistic alternative to owning a car, and hence the need for us really to promote our startups and link them very closely with our auto industry. And of course, the third point is we need to couple sustainability with economic viability through innovative technology and mobility transformation. And if I make I would just make a call for action here. We all need to work together. The entire mobility ecosystem. I mean, um, to which would cover not only EV manufacturers, but the suppliers, the financiers, energy providers, dealers, charging station operators, government agencies, the startups, the universities. It's really important that we work together and collaborate in order for us to make the transition, the transformation successful and enable us to create really a create successfully our EV industry. Yeah. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Yusek Aldaba. Please stay with us. You are still joining us for our session 6. Ladies and gentlemen, I will open up the panel now. Thank you also for pulling that presentation through. Could I just say something? Being hybrid, it's 2022, everything is hybrid. No matter how great you are only as good as your internet connection. So let's give a round of applause to Yusek. She pulled that through, and all of you guys. But this is the important part where we get to interact with each other and hear your questions and really bring out the issues.
Maya. Maya na, Maya. Kanina, nakapamampak ka na eh. Tama na yung mampak-mampak. Inulan niya, kumakain. Kasi pakainin mo na daw siya. Hindi na kontento pala sa klasa. Pero kahit hindi ko umaga. Tapos mga tira-tira namin. Excited ka. Uy, ano ba yan? Bakit mo binubugkok? Alisin mo lang. Kalbahan ka. Haluin mo lang yan sa puwet. Alisin mo yan dyan. Sino ba yung pusa na yan? Masaway.